just maybe, quite possibly, I might say something that's a bit different. Something that other people aren't saying, right? Bending on the free jaw. What I used to do was put a lot of effort and a lot of tension into my trying, and I don't know whether you're in that position. And then I was around people that kept saying, draw softer, you know, softer, focus on the technique, not the force. Joe Flisco says force is bad. And Ronnie Shellis responded in a message and said, it's not about force and effort, it's about technique. And also I started listening to Liam Ward, right? You listen to him do a bend on a hole 3, right? Now I watch a lot of Jason Ritchie, for instance, and Will Wilde. I have done Jason Ritchie still, Will Wilde over the time, and they tend to play with a lot of personality, and they tend to play fast, and they got charisma and stuff like that. And I was watching them, and I suppose I was probably trying to copy their enthusiasm, yeah, and because of my perception, the way I received that, I suppose it might have got in the way, plus my enthusiasm to try and use force, yeah. And so then I started listening to Liam Ward. Now, I'm not comparing all these people really, because they're all doing what they're doing, right? But what I'm saying, Liam Ward and Tomlin, it's almost like, so especially for Liam Ward, I started watching Liam Ward on some of his bends, and they sound, and I'm not saying the other people don't sound clean, but with Liam Ward's bends, they sort of sound safe. Now, if you get one, no, that's not criticism. What I'm saying is, right, now, I don't know, like, see this metronome, right? You don't want it to be out of time, yeah? See this maple syrup? These might be good examples, I don't know. Maple syrup, you want it to taste the same every time, yeah? So for me, what I'm sort of thinking is, right, I need to, like, and it's taken time for me just to relax, and also what I was doing was, when I was bending, I was moving my head around a lot to try and sort of, I don't know what I was doing. I was using my body. Now, yeah, that's it. I do use my diaphragm. You do use your cheeks, you do use your throat and your tongue and your mouth, and you engage your brain. But I was doing stuff which what that then did was it hindered. Let's say you got a problem with your hand, your little finger, and you just use these fingers all the time, then this little finger isn't going to get stronger. So, you know what, it's a bit like physiotherapy. What they would get you to do is, you know, hopefully work on these to make them strong, but also do something to work the weaker part. So when it comes to bending, it's almost like your tongue is the weaker part, because look, I can do this, right, real strong with this. I could chew my way through stuff, but your tongue, you're not, yeah, and plus with bending, you're moving stuff really subtly. Well, you have to, especially if it comes to a D harmonica, or, you know, the higher notes. So what I'm saying is, right, watch a bit of Liam Ward. If you're focusing on on your half step bend on your hole 3, because there's 3 bends there, it's like maybe quite often when you start out, you're going too far sort of thing, and it's like, oh, sort of thing. So see, and you're obviously encouraged to put it into musical terms. See, I'm doing the half step. So what I started doing, I think, was, and I still am, is just focusing on that bend, but instead of doing all this with my, all this sort of thing, is just recognizing what is going on, what am I moving, and if I move it, then not to go, just move it to there. It's better to move towards, yeah. And there's a video by Will Wild where he talks about A-E-I-O-U or something like that. Go and watch it, Will Wild. It's in a link in one of my videos. The whole three. A-E-I-O, something like that. A-E-I-O. A. Anyway, but going back to the whole Liam Ward thing, listen to his bends, listen to some of his stuff, where maybe go and find some bluesy that he's teaching, and you recognise that his bends are very sort of clean and safe. And so, like me, as somebody who's lived a very unsafe life in my past, and now trying to tame the tiger, so to speak, and that's what you're trying to do with your embouchure, is tame it. So and plus with music, there's part of it that are expressive and flamboyant and moody and all that sort of thing, but you know, when it comes to theory, it's kind of predictable. If I was to show that sheet to a music teacher, they would understand it because it's set. Yeah. So there is a degree to bends. This is why harmonica is so beautiful, because like I can either go or and somebody might not be able to do that. So like with a guitar, for instance, there's a lot of things that are just set in place, and if and the majority of people will be able to achieve it if they practice and if they got 10 fingers sort of thing. But with harmonica, there's different people who can sort of like create different dynamics, and they have different ways. So what I'm trying to get at really is, if you watch some of these guys, there's different ways to create vibrato and tremolo. There's different ways to create tongue flutters, and sometimes bending is a bit like that. So if you're seeking the right way to do it, there is some movement in debate and discussions that I've seen. Certainly this one says the throat, this one says the tongue, this one says, you know, some of the lips, and this one's saying use the diaphragm. They're all, none of them are right and none of them are wrong, because their journey has taken them on a certain path. So maybe this might help you if you suffer with, or have suffered with, the same sort of passion when it comes to bending or doing stuff. Practice getting it, I would say, safe and dependable. And bending's one of those things. If you're just beginning to bend, right, get a recording of it. If you think, wow, I got that, right, get a recording of it, practice it for another 5 minutes that day, and then the day after, because you've got to go and live your life, the day after, you've got it yourself as a recording. And before you finish practicing, think, right, what am I doing there? Because it's very likely that you're going to put the harmonica down. Wow, yeah, I've done really well. I've got it. You put it down. And if you didn't think about what you was doing, it's then going to take you another 20 minutes to get back to what you're doing. So earlier, right, what I was trying to do was half step bend, whole step bend. Now those two on the whole three, for me, it's almost like I'm not quite hearing the difference. It might be because I'm using Zidell steels. I don't know. Session steel. I don't know. It has been gapped. It has been embossed by myself. So that's half. Straighten it. So what's going on? What's going on there? This is the process that I was going through. I think when I'm going from half step to whole step, I am dropping my jaw so slightly I would not even be able to get it on camera. My throat is engaged. I'm using Lee Sankey's teaching there, what I learned from him on his videos. I'm engaging the throat, but the tongue is going down, everything. So the tongue and the jaw, I'm sort of doing a sort of like that. Sorry about that. Right, let me try to get it again. I'm tongue blocking, by the way. Slightly, not even that big, yeah. And if you don't appreciate this sort of face pulling business, then this is what it means you ain't getting into bending yet. I watched enough videos. Keep my head still to show I'm not using my head. Yeah, moving your head don't do anything. Yeah, apparently someone told me that normally teachers do it to show you what they're doing. Like same hole. Yeah, that's the free bends. A, I, O, something like A, A, O, E, something like that. There you go. Maybe that's helped. I'm just talking about really the processes that I go through, and who I watch to learn from. Yeah, I've got a lot of inspiration out of Jason Ritchie and Will Wilde, but then also mixing that up with the likes of Liam Ward and Tomlin, who sort of appear to be more safer in some ways. Yeah, everyone's different. So I take from them all, watch them all, learn from them all, and find my way in there. Yeah, I hope that helps. God bless.